2 or 3 standing stones supporting a huge capstone mark an ancient burial place. By far the most impressive sights are those found in the Boyne Valley in County Meath, an Irish Valley of the Kings. The construction of these tombs show astonishing levels of technical skill. For example, the roofing stones at Newgrange are concave to carry off rainwater. Newgrange, at over 4,000 years old, is the crowning glory of the Boyne Valley tombs. The central chamber, deep inside the mound itself, is constructed so as to be illuminated by the rising sun on the winter solstice and on that day alone. The people who built this amazing structure had to be skilled in solar observation in order to calculate the length of the sun's rays at the solstice.
Have a cigarette.
By around 2000 BC, the Bronze Age had arrived in Ireland. Many examples of bronze and
Well,
silver
sticking up.
finds been found in northern Europe of the same age.
Oh, cigarette.
The Bronze Age was followed by the Iron Age and by new invaders from Europe. With their iron weapons, they swept all before them. They were the Celts. Different Celtic tribal groups settled in various parts of the country. The last being the Gael, who gradually conquered the whole island. By 400 AD, they had achieved total domination with their language and Gaelic culture. Artificial islands, or cronogues, were constructed in lakes from layers of stones, tree trunks, and earth. Approached by dugout canoe or simple bridge, these lake villages provided shelter and safety for the occupants. While much of Europe was under the influence of the Roman Empire, Ireland, not being part of that empire, was left to develop in its own way. Under a network of 150 different kingdoms, there were no fewer than 27 different classes of freemen, at the top of the pile being the regional kings, lawyers, druids, and poets. Celtic Ireland was split into 2 major tribal coalitions, the Connachtha in the north and the Omagh in the south. Of the northern tribes, the most influential were the Ineil, ancestors of the modern O'Neills. Although they all shared common language and currency based on the value of cattle, there were constant battles over land, slaves, and the cattle themselves. This was a completely rural society. Gaelic Ireland built no towns. Irish warriors made forays and raiding parties to the British mainland, making settlements on the Welsh coast. And it was these contacts with a Britain by now under the influence of a Christian Roman Empire that paved the way for Christianity to enter Ireland. And the Apostle of Ireland was St. Patrick. The son of a civil servant in Roman Britain, Patrick was abducted by Irish raiders as a young man and sold into slavery near Sleamish Mountain in County Antrim. After 6 years he escaped and returned to Britain, becoming a priest, then a bishop. I saw in a dream a man called Victor, who seemed to be from Ireland and had many letters. He gave me one, and I read the opening words, "The Voice of the Irish." And as I read that beginning, I I seemed at that moment to hear the voice of those people. They cried as with one voice, "We beg you, holy youth, come and walk once more among us." Upon hearing those words in a vision, St. Patrick returned to Ireland in 432 AD to spread the faith, particularly in those northeastern parts of the island not yet dominated by the kingdom of the Email. Patrick may not have been the only Christian missionary in Ireland, but he was certainly the most famous. Since there were no towns in Ireland, monasteries assumed huge significance as seats of learning. But Christianity in Ireland had to adapt to local traditions, such as allowing divorce, which was available under the Celtic Brehon law. With the fall of the Roman Empire, Christianity also declined in most of Europe, giving Irish missionaries their greatest task, to re-evangelize the continent, which they did with staggering success, with Irish missionary centers being established from Iona to Kiev. The tranquil life of religious contemplation in Irish monasteries produced a golden age from about 500 to 795 AD. This peaceful world was then shattered by Viking raids seeking to plunder the rich monasteries. With their mastery of the longboat, the Vikings could move with terrifying speed on sea or river. The Vikings were more advanced in military skills than the Gaelic kings and plundered ruthlessly wherever they could. Setting up bases on the east coast, which were to become the first Irish towns,
To shut
they
all this
attacked
down.
defenseless monasteries, trading
I
their
need.
spoils and
Uh-oh.
goods with other Viking settlements in
Yeah,
Ireland,
yeah, it was
particularly
plastic that I'd set
Cork,
there.
Where's that?
today.
Holy shit. Oh my god. I wouldn't have noticed.
So, I have something of a
In an
theory
attempt
that
to survive the Viking raids, the
candle
monasteries
next to
developed
it
their
might provide
distinctive
the
round
energy.
towers. The monks would retreat
Weird. I think I caught that. What's on fire there?
Nothing now.
Is it over?
Yeah. Well,
Can you open the big window?
yeah.
Ooh, ooh. Oh,
So,
hey.
I had to put the cone from that thing I took apart in there to reflect the light more thoroughly. But check this out. I got the stand out of the broken thing. Buddha stand.
Ew.
Sorry.
Run.
Yeah, they're still moving. But alright, I'm done.